Hello, my name is Yvonne from JK Lifestyles with Yvonne. Today we're meeting with Koya Bakare. She's a pageant queen winner. She's an educator. She's involved with fashion. She just attended New York Fashion Week. Today we're meeting with Coach, and I want to make sure I get your last name. Coach Daniels today.
Yes.
She's an intuitive. She's an author of many books, and I'll put them down in the information box below the video. How are you doing today?
Oh,
Everyone.
are you talking to
Everyone,
Koya?
how are you all doing?
I'm sorry I stepped in, but I'm Kooch and I'm doing great. Koya, how are you?
I'm well. I have my coffee. The sun is shining. And we're good in DC.
Yeah.
Oh, DC.
Yeah.
Well, because you're an intuitive and you did write a book about the experience of taking your intuition and manifesting things, could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is to be in touch with your intuition or to be a psychic. It's it has to come from your belief system because if you believe you're psychic, then you are. Because as we believe, so we create. And our conscious mind, which is our logical out in the world self, has a program going on, but there's a subconscious, and whatever we're telling our inner self, which filters through the subconscious, comes back as this is who we are, because our belief system builds our reality. And so I just want to start the morning, for me, it's early in the morning, by saying we are all psychic. And the more that you believe you are, the more you're going to see it coming into existence in little ways, big ways. And if you want to develop your psychic ability, you tell yourself when you wake up, you set an intention. I am trusting my intuition. I am going to be more tuned into my feelings. I'm going to let myself be empathic to what other people are feeling. So you want to give yourself a good kind of a jump start in the morning with how am I going to perceive today? It's going to be a beautiful day. I can tell the sun's coming out. It's getting warmer in California.
Mhm.
So it's all about believing in your own abilities, having confidence, and just not forcing it, not feeling that you have to judge, I'm doing it right, not right, but just having the belief system that you can use your intuition. It just opens that doorway.
Mhm.
How are you, ladies? Are you in touch with your intuition?
I want to believe I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very healthy conversation. And so I have definitely a plethora of questions for you, but I'm glad that you led it that way because I think about those who look at it as something contrary, where I look at it as something that's so deep and it's innate in all of us. So I'm glad that you led that for those who may be unfamiliar. But yes, I rely heavily on my intuition.
I think the trouble with me was that I I was intuitive and I would have feelings from the inside, something I should do or how I should think or my perception of a situation. But then I would let other people, what they thought tell me, oh no, what you're thinking is wrong, Yvonne, or disregard what you're thinking. But as I've gotten older, I listen more to my intuition, but I wish I had done it at an earlier age.
There's no time like the present. And right now, just even having this conversation, I'm just going to like push you a little very gently to just totally like be in your intuitive sixth sense body because people have kind of gotten weirded out by it because of what, like watching movies like Friday the 13th or other kind of movies where it's associated with the dark or the witches. And there's so many positive experiences that people have trusting their intuition. It saves lives. It helps people find things that it's like finding keys even. And there's just so many things that are really, it's kind of like seeing miracles in action. So if you have a positive attitude, that is like the gift that gives you a little oomph to enjoy calling forth this extra sense, because it is the sixth sense, and we all have six senses if we want them.
Mhm.
And the higher that your belief system is, or the more that you're tuned into it, it's just more, it's kind of like something you can call on. So instead of saying I'm troubled, or, I can't be intuitive now because I wasn't intuitive when I was young, you would just want to just like let that stuff go, and just today, now, this moment, just smile within and try to feel it in your heart, because being feminine, we're really connected with our heart center.
Mm,
A lot of
mm,
intuitive energy comes when our heart center calls on us to like, what are you feeling? So it's really connected with feeling. And the more you put heart into calling it forth, or spirit, however you want to perceive it, but it's a higher sense. It's not like it's not like it's like I'm hungry sense, or I need to go to work sense. It's more of a, just how can I be more awake? Because that it's like waking up to your higher self, waking up to your higher potentials, waking up to believing that you can be connected with the stars or connected with spirit. It's kind of trusting more that, I don't want to say religion, but I like the word spirituality, like connecting with spirit. And if you can communicate with the gods, ah, because our creator, our maker, however you see him or her, is behind our creation of who we are on this planet. And there's an saying that the creator's omniscient or omnipresent, meaning their senses are wide open, not only for one individual person, but everybody on the planet. So there's like this infinite source that we're connected with. And the,
You
go
know
ahead,
what I was
sorry.
going to say? No. You know what I was wondering, do mothers, when women become a mother, do they become more intuitive? Because I remember my mother, sometimes she told me one time, she called one of my siblings, right? And when she got off the phone, she said, I knew, she found out that they had been ill and they didn't tell her. But she said, I had a feeling that something was not right. And I know me, myself now, I was feeling really upset about something. And I was like, well, nothing's changed in my circumstance. I mean, I was feeling fine a while ago. So what changed? And then I talked to one of my children, and they were bothered by something. So I wonder if it was something, a mother's instinct, intuition, letting me know that one of my children, one of my kids, were going through something that was kind of challenging at the moment.
The intuition connected with the heart. Mothers are the most intuitive on the planet. And when a woman starts getting these charges of hormones when they go into their pregnancy, it's like a survival, like the universe is giving women more insight into how to survive, how to keep the species alive. And then we're connected with our hearts to our family. And so we're feeling them. Feelings and intuition are kind of like one and the same. It's like, how are you feeling? How are you sensing? How are you intuiting? It's kind of like they're very connected. And so, of course, you're going to be able to have, as a mother, and your concerns about your children, or even if you're not a mother, it's just the more that you feel things with your heart, the more you're going to like feel other people's stuff through your intuitive sensing. But mothers definitely get a supercharge of it with their children.
Mhm. Toya, did you want to say anything? Koya? I think Koya froze.
Koya looks frozen.
Yeah.
I've got you all to myself, Yvonne.
Okay. She's coming back in.
Oh, good. Well, another way that we're connected with one another is through the collective unconscious, meaning like
Hmm.
we're all in some way like chains on one link. So if you're chains on
We're
one
back
link,
for you. She's back.
we
Hmm.
missed
I
you.
apologize. I
We didn't miss
apologize and
much. It was
jumping.
only a
Oh,
couple minutes, but
no, no,
it was
no
like
worries.
we were sending you love.
Thank you.
We're talking about love is one of the ways that we open our heart. And when we open our heart, we also open our intuitive abilities more. So that's why mothers can be more tuned in to their children because there's so much love there, so that they're
Mhm,
sensing and feeling their energy from a distance.
mhm. If
Um,
if oh, I'm sorry.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
if I could add, so a couple of things came to my mind, not to make it somber, but I go back to when I'm a Kooch survivor of 2 suicide attempts, and in my last failed attempt, I'm glad I got it wrong. But my mother, I remember taking this bottle of pills and um, hearing my sweet mate knocking at my door. I was an undergrad, but I also heard the phone ring, and it was my mother. And if I cry, it's not woefulness, but it's speaking to that intuition. My mother said something told me to call you. My mother was in DC. I was in North Carolina. My mother has always, I'm sorry, I'm not crying. It's my lashes getting in my
Yeah.
eye. But my mother always had that, and she made her way. And I'm here now, 30 something years later. But my mother taught my sister and I the beauty and the power from a spiritual perspective, and from a I'm not gonna say scientific, but I'm gonna say scientific because I wanted to be a scientist. But she said, girls, there's medicine, and she will always say, medicine is still a science. They're seeking to know, but then there's also spirit. And spirit, she also led that with intuition. She always tells us, just follow your spirit. And she taught us about the power of that gut, that feeling. There was a difference between just Koya and then our intuition. She was just this very mystical spiritual being, that taught us to listen to that very silent yet powerful voice that would lead us. And it got me out a lot of different things. I've leaned heavily into that, but so I've always leaned into my intuition, but my mother's intuitions would save me. It saved me and helped guide me. So I have my own personal experience, and I've used that with my own tribe when I felt like, oh, I've been driving like, what is that I feel? And then maybe my sister, hey, what's going on? I feel something, or something may say, go left instead of go right. And I don't want to go left instead of right, but I go ahead and I realize, oh, there was a traffic accident.
Hmm.
I could have been involved in, those type of things. I believe in the things that we don't see. And so for me, it's not a heavy, I have visions and things like that. So it's not a heavy pivot for me to rely on my intuition, just one of the way I was raised, and I've just seen the manifestation of it to be true for myself. So I'm happy to have this dialogue with you.
Oh, well, I'm happy to hear that you're very tuned in and very intuitive. So
Thank you. Thank you. I have to wonder, do you feel in your practice that, as with us being human beings, these wonderful beings, that we allow ego, and not that ego is a bad thing, but we allow ego to maybe interrupt intuition, where we may say, oh no, that can't be this because I need to be in control. That can't be something that I don't see, or something that's beyond myself.
I, from a personal experience, I I would say ego, if you're into ego and how great your intuition is, you're already creating a little bit of a block,
Yeah.
because it really is, it's a feeling, it's a vibration, it's not a logical thing, and it's definitely not
Yeah.
an ego thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think, I mean, even when people boast and boast and boast, it's like the higher you think you are, the bigger you're gonna drop.
Agree.
It's
Even if you have a lot of money,
Yeah. Yeah.
billionaire, and you're
well,
used to getting everything you want.
Oh my.
but that creates a lot of division, and a
Hmm.
lot of, if you're totally into counting money, it's hard to open up your heart and feel your because you're busy focusing on material reality, and
Mhm.
intuition is kind of like being lifted by the wind and soaring high into spirit or into the moment
Mhm.
that is not confined by intellectual
Mhm.
ideas. It's a feeling. And so ego isn't feeling. I think pride, I mean, pride is a feeling maybe, but it's not going to take you into your intuitive depths.
I agree.
Cooch, you've been doing this for over 4 decades. You've worked with tarot, tarot, astrology, and runestones.
I
What
do.
first drew you to these type of tools?
Oh, I didn't know it at the time when I was growing up. I loved ghost stories, and I would like find houses that were abandoned and like try to feel ghosts and communicate with ghosts. So I was just like, I grew up with the mindset that I could talk with ghosts.
Mhm.
And being young, you just think, oh, this is just what is. And then you kind of realize like this isn't what is. But there are people that are that way. And so I kind of found my tribe. And the more that I connected with intuitive people or other ghost hunters, uh, the more I became enchanted. And then started realizing that this is my world. And I wanted to start doing readings because there were people I could see that would like just channel in the moment and start babbling about what somebody needed or what was happening, and they were complete strangers to them. So I knew there was like another reality as far as how can you use or how can you develop your psychic ability so that you can be more helpful to people, or you can like find answers for them, or you can help them find their keys, whatever it is. uh, I'm not, I'm a person who, when people ask me if I can locate lost children, I just kind of crumble because my emotions go into tear. I get really cry when I start looking for either missing people or kidnapped people. Somebody asked me if I could find, I think her name is Grace, the 84-year-old woman that's gone missing from, where is she? Arizona or wherever she, it's like I've tried to find missing people, and I just go into such an emotional frenzy that I'm not good when there's a lot of pain or suffering. Or I know some psychics, that's what they train for, to be like psychic detectives, and they get hired by police department. But seems like spirit wanted me to help people with their personal problems and to be able to dive into the psyche. And so that was kind of the direction I went. I studied with psychic groups and I studied psychology at universities, trying to understand how I could be better at giving people information that might help them make better choices or have a better sense of how they can create more of a peaceful life. Does
Is
that
it
answer?
draining for you?
Is it draining? When when I started doing readings as a street artist in front of Ghirardelli Square, in just a big landmark in San Francisco, and I was asking like $1 a reading. I was like I think I was 21. Like, oh, so excited. So I would like have huge lines, people getting readings for $1. Oh my heavens, by a beautiful young 20-year-old. I mean, I'm like, that's my memory. I must have been beautiful when I was 20. Um,
Mhm.
but the after I would work for like 4 hours sitting out in the world reading strangers, I wouldn't be able to move for like 3 days. Literally, I was horizontally like incapable of like sitting up. That's how draining it was. Because
Mhm.
I would literally like merge with another being, put my entire soul or psyche into merging to be able to do this diving into the other. Um, and it took a lot of training so that I wouldn't be drained. But when I started, if you're going into it as a business where you're going to sit for 4 hours and try to read for people, or become a psychic, or you're just sitting there trying to be psychic for 4 straight hours or 5 straight hours. It just, I mean, because you have to remove yourself, you have to get out of your way to be able to like be in somebody else's space 100%. And it's an experience. Some people might have had a different psychic starting point than mine, but I was totally wiped out initially when I started, but I was so drawn to it. Like I had to go through what I was going through to now I can like, I mean, I worked, I don't know if you have the Renaissance Fair on the thing. I think you do, but I read from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night straight through for at the Renaissance Fair for 25 years. So that's like, to be able to like shift gears and do that kind of all day long where you're just giving to the other person and trying to sit in their space, and it's like one person after another. An amazing training of using your psychic ability and being able to hold that energy so that you don't wind up face down. Mm-hmm. So I would say you have to learn how to not let go of whatever it is that keeps you safe. So I do a lot of psychic self-protection, psychic rituals, psychic grounding, learning how to hold your own energy where you're not using so much energy, even though you're 100% committed to doing the work you're doing, without becoming drained. So there's a learning curve for people who go into it on a level where it's more than just a momentary thing during the day where you're feeling like, ooh, that was really an important awareness that came to me in this moment, and it feels like it's coming from some other spirit or energy, or was that real? Was that that feels totally psychic, so that momentary intuitive energy, or when you're trying to just get through your day with being more awake to using your sixth sense, that's not draining. That's just
okay. Kooch, did you learn this yourself, or did you have to train with someone in order to learn these things?
I trained with a group of psychics and it was a pagan circle, and I was trained in learning how to read tarot cards and do palmistry and astrology, and all of these are ancient psychic mediums or tools of witches. I mean, witches, women, the wise women who could work with herbs or tarot cards or use their psychic abilities used to be burned because they were bad. Thank heavens we're beyond that for the most part. But if we lived in Iran and we were having this conversation, all three of us we'd be executed, because they don't believe that people, especially women, should be using things that are, like tarot cards or talking astrology. They're very anti.
Okay, one of the things that you were talking about was trying to manifest. So, how would a person go about doing that?
Well, is there something that you want to manifest? Let me ask you that. I mean, what are you trying to manifest? I know you're interested in it, so there must be a reason. Do either of you have like a manifestation desire?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, you don't want to say it. Okay, well, that's good.
Sometimes out loud.
Okay, let's see. It's got to be about love, but we won't go there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to, you want to just wake up and say the best. Well, there's a process people use, a different, like breathing in and just being really centered in your heart, or just getting really comfortable in your body. So you want to go into a relaxed state, and it's almost like the more you can go into a meditative state, and then just sit there and say, thank you for letting me have this gift. So if you, that's the shortcut. That's the quickest, shortest route to manifestation, is saying thank you, feeling it in your heart that it's already coming to you and you're giving thanks for it. That would be, when you get through all the steps and stages of how do you manifest, believing that it's coming and giving thanks,
Mm-hmm.
and know that you deserve to have this. Not with like an ego thing or being demanding of the universe that it shows up and gives you what you want, but just
Mm-hmm.
you are one with your desire. And this desire, it's very human, it's very real, and it's important. And the universe is helping by bringing this to you, and it's coming. So you get into a positive space and you give thanks. You don't want to like try to manifest something when you're cranky, angry, revengeful, like that everything's going the
Negative
wrong
type of
way.
emotion.
Yeah.
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 So get yourself into a positive just mindset, or mental framework where you're enjoying the moment and breathing, relaxing, and being centered in your heart center as much as humanly possible. Because the more you can feel whatever you're desiring in a positive way in your heart center, the more you're at peace with it, the more you're able to connect with it, the more you're one with it. But
Okay.
just saying, thank you, universe, for bringing this to me, that's the key phrase. When
Mm-hmm.
we're waking up in the morning, we're shifting from the dream state, the subconscious state, to our conscious awareness. And when that shift is happening, or at night, when light is turning to darkness, or when you're going to bed, these are like energetic times when
Mm-hmm.
our own personal magnetism and grounding is shifting. How we're walking on the earth is shifting, and our perceptions are more able to shift from how we're logical to how we dream or how we intuit things. So those are like key times to set intentions. When you wake up in the morning, that is like the doorway to you're setting your belief system in motion. You're setting up your attitude about how your day is going to be, or what you want to fulfill in the day, or what's most important. So morning time, when you're just waking up, if you can just say, I am. The Course of Miracles, there's like a big book called The Course of Miracles. It's very lengthy, but when you like simmer everything down to the basics for manifestation, it's like you want to use the words I am, because I am, it's like I am one with God. I am one with the universe. I am one with my desires. And they're coming to me. So you want to use, traditionally, it's handy to use the word I am, and then you fill in the blank with whatever it is. So I am becoming more intuitive, or I am finding the perfect partner to spend romantic time with. So get clear about what it is that you're desiring. And then before you go to bed at night, or when you wake up in the morning, you want to like dialogue with your subconscious self, because your subconscious works for you in many ways. More people are intuitive in their dreams than any other mental state. So if you get into that bodiless, inner psychic dream visual, there's a hypnagogic state, which is kind of that's called when people are going from consciousness to subconscious. There's like a state where you're kind of like in both worlds at the same time. And people call it the big word of hypnagogic. You're in that state where you're kind of like, you're not totally out of consciousness, but you're not totally into your dream world. So you're kind of like between the worlds. That's also, if you can find yourself in that state and go, I am falling in love with the perfect partner. I am opening my heart to finding joy. I am, and then create a positive framework, say it in a very positive way, because you know it's coming, or it's, you can manifest it. That's how people manifest. They work with hearing the positive idea and repeating it to themselves. Like you repeat, I am falling in love every morning for like, several months, and you're going to be like feeling more love. You're going to be knowing that there is somebody there that you can really connect with. And that knowing and that positive sense, you're going to be attracting, because we all are like, we have a frequency. We have our energy is electrical. Our bodies are light. So when you're vibing a certain frequency, you have other frequencies around you. So if you're telling yourself you are love itself and you're able to find the perfect partner, your frequency is like tuned in. It's like fine tuning a radio station so it comes in clearly. And you're going to pick up on another frequency that has that same frequency.
You know something, I wonder if that has something to do with sometimes as I've gotten older, it seems like people that I was friends with or connected with before, and it just seemed like maybe we just don't connect anymore. They tire me out, they wear me down. I feel a sense of heaviness when I'm around them or when I after I spend time with them and I leave. I mean, I was wondering, what do you think that's about? I know people grow in different directions, but sometimes I wonder if it's vibration, maybe it's a change in how we connect in some way. I don't
Well,
know.
every person has a soul path, and not every soul path stays the same because we evolve, we're changing, we grow into our higher self or who we're becoming. And there's so many people who get married and then get divorced. It's why, because you realize like we're not really connecting, we're not on the same vibe, we're different energies. We
Mhm.
don't like each other anymore. And this person's really draining, or God, did I marry a psychic vampire? He's always draining me.
Mhm.
So you have to get away to save your own life because you don't want to be drained. And just knowing that it's natural for attraction when we're attracted. And after we spend time together or even years together, finding out who each one of us are inside, and then we realize, well, I didn't really want to, I just don't feel this person's too dominant. They're always telling me what to do, or they're trying to take over my decision making, or they want all my money, or whatever it is. And I start getting irritated. And then the more you get irritated, it's like whatever we focus on, and we can't deny it. This person really annoys me for whatever reason. It's like,
Uh-huh.
you have to admit, like, there's something that isn't comforting by hanging around this person. And it's a real feeling. And we're entitled to those feelings because they're real for whatever reason. So don't worry about it. It's a natural part of life. People are coming and going into everybody's lives. And all the time people are changing. I want to be with this person. I'm not with this person. This was my best friend in high school, but like 20 years later, we can't stand one another. Or this person, a lot of people are jealous of other people's successes. I mean, there's so many reasons for people to get mad at one another because it's just life. So just know you got to just go with your heart and know your intentions are what set intentions to manifest. So you want to set the intention that you're surrounding yourself with people who bring harmony into your heart, people who will help you evolve and become more in tune with your higher self. And if the person's out there like doing things that are really annoying to you, it's totally natural that you don't have to hang out and feel like I have got to be with this person. It's like, no, you don't.
Mhm. I think that's what I came to realize